Right then, folks. Hello. Welcome back to the plot. I love this time of year. I was going back and watching some of my older videos recently, I like to compare and contrast, especially with last year because it was so awful. But I've realised I go in cycles, right? And April, I think, is always my highest. I get so excited for spring, and then May starts to get a lot busier, and then by July, I'm always like, and I'm spending too much time at home and all my plants are getting very thirsty, but let's enjoy it while we can, eh? First thing, look at the shed, right? Is it just me or has it changed colour? So every time I come to the plot, it changes between grey and blue, mixing those. And today it looks nice and green, which is good because that's the colour I wanted it to be. But yeah, just another Allotment Diary episode today. I've got a few jobs to do, but also lots to update you on. So let's start off with the updates. So I've been planning a lot of things out and it's a bit of a mixed bag. So let's have a look. First things, very exciting. The broccoli pretty much done now, the purple sprouting broccoli. But down here, look at these. We have got some red Chillis cabbage going. And I planted these out maybe just kind of at the start of the week. So maybe Wednesday actually, something like that. So they've just been in the ground a few days, but I can already see they're growing, they're getting bigger. Just, a massive smile on my face, absolutely love it. This was seed from Grown Local, done really well compared to all my other kind of older cabbage seed. We do have one here, I think this is a mini cole, but yeah, not much germination on the green cabbages, but the red cabbages, really good. And the red cabbage is the only one where I used like nice good fresh seed from Grown Local. Now I have been a little bit worried. It's a lovely kind of cool grey day. You can tell it's been hot when I'm already saying, you know, it's lovely and cool and grey and nice. But we've had our first few days of rain, which is just fantastic. I still need to fix this at the back. Let me show you. I'd kind of forgotten about this actually, but this wildly overhanging gutter does now need properly shortening and tying in. And I was waiting to do that until I could get the shed all painted, but that's all done now, so no real excuse. But this was empty, and look at that, lovely rainwater. It's looking a bit green actually, it needs a bit of a empty and a clean, I think, but it was pretty much empty. So really nice to be collecting rainwater off the shed. Just one of these little things that puts a smile on your face. And the other thing that puts a smile on my face is the fact that the cabbages are still there. I was really nervous with all the rain that we've had, that all the slugs and snails would come out and get everything that I've planted out, but it's not looking too bad. I say that actually, that one is looking quite bad. We'll come back to that. I just want to show you these first. Do you remember at the end of one of my last tours, showed you these brigadier cabbages? A neighbour gave me these, Mike. He's really good at growing cabbages, and look at those, they're rocketing away. So they've been in the ground a few days longer than those red cabbages next to it. I've got an awful lot of red cabbages that I've planted out, I can see now, but that's fine, we like red cabbage. But, well, yeah, this isn't so fine, is it? You can see all the soil here, and this is where my carrots were. Oh, what can you do? Look at that. I actually had some nice germination coming up, and I'd put a little bit of netting on here just to stop things digging, and I think they saw that as a bit of a challenge. Decided to go, all right, you don't want me to dig, do you? Well, tough luck. And look, they've pushed over all these seedlings, which just direct sown red salad by the looks of it. Hopefully they'll bounce back. I'm going to place these back just over the carrots, just in case. Better to have it than to not, but this is a really good example of why generally I don't do much direct sowing, and I tend to transplant stuff out. It's just a bit more resilient to digging. You can see all these leaves. I mean, these look like they've actually been eaten. Well, I don't know, but this is a transplant, which is looking much healthier. We have as well in here a little line of radishes. Growing pretty slowly, probably way too close together there. But there's more in this bed as well. We have quite a few flowers that I've started planting out. We've got a few little cosmos in there. I thought I planted something else out in here. I think it might have been eaten. What else did I plant out in here? I'm sure there was something. Maybe we'll find out. But along here as well, we've got a nice little row of calendula starting. Oh, although, yeah, look, first slug damage of the season, right up against these wooden boards, not a surprise. But yeah, my sort of thinking with this bed, mainly the flower bed, I think for some, I just, You know, the way I plant stuff out is pretty ad hoc. I just tend to go in the greenhouse, pick stuff up and look around and plonk it down, you know, come up with an idea there and then. I did use Veg Plotter last year, a really nice bit of software that I do still recommend, but if I'm completely honest, I do just find I'm not much of a planner. I will make a plan and then immediately just start doing whatever I want instead. Oh, something else to show you. It's going to be one of those where I'm flitting around left and right. Look at this, a little push mower. Now this actually belongs to my uncle, who just so happens to have a plot on this allotment, but he's not been up for a while, and unfortunately, because my petrol mower is out of action, I remembered he had it, asked him if he minded me giving it a go, and yeah, I mean, you can see, I've got it on its highest setting, and it's blinking hard work, I mean, seriously, but it has made a little dent, so it's probably worthwhile me doing that just to try and keep on top of the grass a little bit. But getting distracted, let me show you a little bit more. We've got some really nice beetroot transplants in here that have taken quite well, some more radish as well, and some of this red salad. I'm pretty sure this is red salad bowl. Really, really good. Premier Seeds Direct, I think I got 11,000 seeds in a tiny little packet. And in here, I'm not sure if you can see them, some tiny, tiny little green seedlings, and I've planted something in there. No idea what it is. Maybe a salad. They look a little bit like a lettuce. And in here I tried some more carrots as well. Nothing yet. I think that looks like a chard, doesn't it? Little volunteer chard that I've just left and weeded around. Nothing in the greenhouses just yet, although my good friend Elmo was just offering me some spare melons. And actually, I said there was nothing, but I forgot about this. Why did I just forget that this would happen? Lots and lots of volunteer tomatoes. Look at this little cluster in here. Oh, I don't know what to do with those. It's tricky because it seems like a waste to get rid of them, but at the same time, that might be one of the tomatoes I didn't love last year, like maybe the spoon. The spoon tomato was an absolute pain in the behind, and I don't want that growing up everywhere. Still a lot of space in this bed. Unfortunately, the direct sown peas, we've got one. Look at that. One pea germinated. Or maybe one there as well. But yeah, mine's got most of these, unfortunately. I did have a couple of tubs of potatoes. I've brought those out of the polytunnel. Particularly this one, because it looks a bit like it's kind of bolting almost, you know. I didn't really like the way it started growing quite tall. I thought maybe it was getting a little hot in there for them. And they definitely don't need to be in the greenhouse, so they're outside now. They might find a more permanent home later. Bluebells have come out, that's nice. They are kind of the Spanish ones though, not the English native ones, which is a shame. On plot 2, it's looking lovely. Look at this cherry blossom. Oh, just exquisite. When the sun comes out, you can really hear the bees going. Apple blossom looks nice too. Oh, gorgeous. But let's have a quick look in the polytunnel, shall we? Because there's a few bits to show you in here. I do feel like I'm really on top of things with sowing and everything. And the seedlings in the polytunnel, this feels like a bit of like the overflow. So I have the peas on here in the floating shelves just because they're very susceptible to mice if they're on the ground. But generally the other seed trays are in the greenhouse. It's just that I've had a few seed, can you see me there? I've had a few seed trays in the greenhouse for like over a month that look like they're doing nothing. So I've brought them in here for a few weeks to make a bit more room. And now I really think it's like, you've had enough time. If you're not doing it, then time to go. And you can see how green they are. They've been slightly overwatered at some point, but yes, unfortunately, we had two sets of flowers in here, black scabious and something else, which has done nothing. That looks like a weed. That looks like something I've sowed. It looks a bit like a snapdragon, doesn't it? Any idea what that is? Let me know. We've got lots of calendula, some cosmos, 2 sets of cosmos that didn't germinate in there, and some oxeye daisies, nothing. Although that looks like something, it's just come up late. The onions, unfortunately, not done much at all. I had 2 in here this year that were really kindly sent to me by David. We had Frontier and I think Expression. And this is the Frontier side, and that is the Expression side. Absolutely no germination whatsoever, and these onions are now so far behind. You can see some are still only just germinating, which is really bizarre. Now this was my straw flower tray, and it looks, is that a straw flower? I've never grown them before. I think that is, and it looks quite similar to this one. So we do have some, and we've got some rogue radishes that have made it in there. But yeah, I'm gonna pot these on and get rid of the rest, just to start making some space, be a bit ruthless. Up here, my marigold tray, marigolds and me do not get on. These two, I used some fresher seed, but most of this, I did have some comments saying, you know, be careful, they don't like to be buried too deep, and you can see a lot of these are still on the surface, and I wasn't shy. A lot of these have got like, you know, 5+ seeds in each cell, and just really struggle with marigolds. I think maybe they need proper fresh seed. Some interesting stuff going on in this one. We had 2 orange flash. These are calendula seeds from, I think, maybe Thompson & Morgan, something like that, and no germination. Next to some grown local calendula. This is the Playtime mix, and they have come up really nicely. Got some old lobelia seed that I've stuffed in here that have done absolutely nothing, but another grown local seed. This is Cosmos Xenia, I think, and they are in desperate need of pricking out. We've got some more flowers behind. Some mixed zinnias have come up really nicely. Once again, they're grown local. Purple straw flowers have done nothing. I just wanted to get rid of the pack. Some Sweet Williams electron mix, nothing. A few little zinnias up the end here, and then some Canterbury bells have done nothing as well. So a bit of a mixed bag, but with the flowers, I've got a lot of, you know, proper old seed that I just wanted to get rid of, so I thought it was worth a go. Interesting things happening with the peas as well. I've done some more peas to get like some successions going, and these were sown a little bit later than these, just a few days, but these kind of garland root trainers, I don't know, man, they got something special going on. This is the same pea seed, and for some reason this is germinating much nicer than these. This is kind of like an old root trainer module. These are a bit old-fashioned now, but they were all the rage. They've not been around that long, but they just start to break. They're so flimsy and rubbish, and I don't know, I'm seeing much better germination in these garland ones as well. Put a link in the description. Got these from Grown Local if you're interested. They do make planting peas out so easy. And the gutter peas, these are properly long in the tooth now. They're still looking quite healthy, but I'm gonna get these out today. It's definitely time to get these going. I'll show you where outside in a moment. But first, let's look at these vertical planters, shall we? I've planted a few more little bits. We've got some lettuce in here. I'm expecting this to pretty much bolt straight away, but I had some trays that needed emptying, so I thought, oh, wait, I've got to get something. Check this out. So, I was doing the weekly shop in Lidl yesterday, and I saw this, I had a lot of comments telling me you can get little wheelie plant supports, and it might be good for this black planter. So let's see. The problem is, of course, I've filled this and I've watered it, and it's going to be really hard to pick all 3 of these up. The ground here isn't perfectly level for the wheels either. Let's see if we can just sort of shifty it. Go on. Oh, it's not too bad. My incredible feats of strength. Is that even? No. Okay, I mean, is that better? Well, yes, I think so. It's not, no, actually, it's not on a slab, I think, is the problem. Maybe that'll be better. It's not great, it's not like tied in anyway. Maybe if you properly secured it. Or maybe take the label off as well, JB, so that doesn't just spin around. Something to improve on in the future, but maybe it'll make life easier. I want to spin this every time I come in. I do. Every time I come up to the allotment, I do give these a little 1/3 spin, just to make sure everything's getting the light. And it all looks really good. I was saying, if you missed the last episode about getting these planters set up, I did say one of the difficulties I had is how small the planting pocket is, but someone made it one of those things that someone says and you just go, oh, of course, how could I not realise that? And that is, it's deliberately designed like that to prevent evaporation, to prevent all the soil drying out, because you have absolute minimal exposure to the air. Of course, of course. Oh, so simple. Now at the side of the polytunnel, look at this. We've got planting in one of the new beds. Oh, it just looks so good. It's so clean. It's just so lovely and clean. This is the raised bed gardening that I've been looking at people doing for years. And sort of saying, oh, it's not for me, I don't need that, while secretly thinking, actually, yeah, that does look quite easy and nice. And yeah, this stuff just so easy to plant into. You can just plant in with your hand, make a hole to plant in if you need to. Amazing. I would really love to sort out these paths at some point, but one day. We've got a few little beetroot and some more salads in this one as well. And the rhubarb is coming back, lovely. I took a really big harvest from that the other day. I tried forcing it this year just in this blue barrel. Didn't cut out enough light, so it was sort of semi-forced, but not too bad. Very good news next door. The asparagus. I can't believe I ever doubted you. Why was I worried? Although, that said, this half looks really good. And then this half, not so much. We've got a little bit coming up. Oh yeah, there you are. Got one just there, poking up. Lovely, lovely. Mentioned I'd show you the peas. Just in this cold frame, we've got some sweet peas, which is nice. And we've got a tray of leeks as well. I was looking at these, wondering what they were. Is that in water? No, they're okay. And that is that a straw flower? Is that a cheeky little straw flower that snuck its way in here? Maybe. Those sweet peas, not great germination, but I think I might just get those out now at this point. They're not doing too much, so a little bit of slug damage on there, but I think we'll just plant them out today as well. Lots of planting out today, I think. And I said I'd show you the peas, so this is what I'm talking about. I have leveled this bed out a little bit more now. So this had loads and loads of homemade compost in here, and it's a little bit weedy. It's not the best quality, but hopefully full of goodness. It's quite nicely broken down, so it's not like it's full of wood that's gonna rob the soil of nitrogen or anything like that. Still got a few spring onions going strong here, just taking these as and when we need. Look at that. Red salad bowl, overwintered. I love that lettuce, such a good variety. I've left in here as well, I think these are poppies, aren't they? Are these poppies? I thought I'd just leave them to it, really. I couldn't really bear to weed those out. But yes, this is an old parasol that broke. We could not fix it. I really did try as well. It was a little bit embarrassing. But I thought, you know what, I'll just take it to the allotment, do something with it. And I thought a few little lines around it of twine, and that'll be a nice little pea teepee. We'll try it. We've got some parsnip germination as well in here. Just tiny, tiny little babies. But we've got one there. That one's a weed. And we got one there. And we got one there. You can just about make out the line where I've done them. They can take a really long time to germinate. It's so strange. I have such bad luck with carrots, but parsnips do go well for me. Maybe I'm a bit more on it with making sure the seeds are good. Still got some leeks to harvest, looking really good. And look at these peas, man. Look at these. Oh, I love it. They're just starting to get attached to the netting, looking really, really good. I did have to defend these from some pigeons that were after the shoots, but I find once they get established, they're not too bad. Might just go along a little bit with these and tie them in properly, make sure they're growing into the trellis support. All that's left to show you is the greenhouse. Let's have a look. I think this might be a bit of a bumper episode today, folks. Like I say, this time of year, I just love it. I feel like I can do a bit more little and often, come up for maybe 2 or 3 hours as opposed to 5 or 6 hours, which is quite often what I find happening as the season goes on. You plan to come up for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then you end up like fighting fires. Like there's jobs that really need doing. They're time sensitive, like stuff is growing up without support, and if you don't do it right there and then, you're not going to be able to get down until next weekend or, another 5 or 7 days, and it's going to grow and start snapping. And it's really easy for that to all just kind of snowball, and you come up to the plot expecting to be up here for 2 hours and realise you've got to basically be up here all day. And this time of year, it's not quite like that. You can just do a couple of hours here or there, just keep on top of things, do a few little sowings, plant stuff out, just feels so much more relaxed this time of year. But the greenhouse, quite a few things to show you in here. So first, let's talk about these. These are the salad trays. So this is how I sow my salads, my lettuce and my beetroot. Just kind of wing it, I just take it out as and when it needs. I've taken these, because it's been really warm, I've taken these and put them on this little strip, which is kind of the slightly cooler, slightly shadier part. And when they get to this sort of size, this one, they're ready to plant out, and I'll just go and find a little space for them. Some of the beetroot has been a little spotty on the germination, a little slow to go, but It's looking okay. Up here we've got another little tray just full of germination. All of that is looking really strong, isn't it? And that is because this is all grown local. It's really seeing the difference this year, making sure, you know, I'm just growing way more grown local seed, and it really does show. So we've got some Palo Rossa in here, really nice chicory, absolutely gorgeous, one of the most pretty things to grow. This one says red ball lettuce, which might start out as green and then go red. Then we've got a little bit of swede coming up, some burpless, what's it called? The burp. I've just written burp gold and then boldor at the end. I know they're beetroots, but I can't remember the variety name. We've just got a little bit popping up there. Under here, what's all this? I can't remember. Let me just spin this around so we can actually see what it is. So this is an interesting little tray. I only did this a few days ago, so no germination yet, but we've got some spring onions at the back. Keep forgetting to successionally sow these because it's one of those things. Once they're in the bed and growing, it's really easy to forget about them. We've got some chives. I think they'll be nice for borders and maybe in the vertical planters as well. And then we've got cumin, which I've always struggled with. I've got quite a lot of cumin seed and struggled to germinate, but it does need it really hot. So we'll keep the propagator on there and flip it back round so this one is in the sun. Maybe we'll use a propagator that actually fits on here a bit better as well. Just next door we've got a few more of the red calibos seeds here, the little seedlings. I did pot these up. They were really tiny, quite a lot of slug damage on these, but they're growing really nicely. Now what's in here? No idea, haven't labelled that. JB, I've got a feeling these, I don't know. No idea. Well, that'll be fun to see what pops up there. And then in here, these are the little strawberry seedling trays, and I don't normally use these, but I only wanted to do a little bit of these. So we've got some purple sprouting broccoli, some Savoy cabbage at the back, and some Purple Magic, which is an F1 broccoli. It's like a purple broccoli that forms like a Calabrese head. So more like a traditional broccoli that I thought I'd try out. Once again, very kindly sent to me by David, that seed. This one, some proper exciting stuff, but not much popping up in here just yet. So we've got some of the special basil here. I've got the seed, look at that. From Johnny's. And this is meant to be downy mildew resistant. I'm not sure that is ever something I've had a proper issue with, but thought I'd give it a go. Thank you very much, David. So that's germinated quite nicely. We've got a few cucumbers in here that aren't actually germinating. I'd like to see these moving on now. We've got this one, the Merlin, but no Market More, no Honey Plus, and I did put in a couple of melons as well. There's a Minnesota Midget melon in there that hasn't done anything yet. We hold out hope. Next door, this is an exciting one. There's no label on this one, but this is an entire tray of basil. I wanted to go absolutely like crazy with the basil this year. Have loads in the polytunnel, have some in the vertical planters. I want to do loads and loads of properly prepared tomato kind of passata and sauces. And at the end of last season, we did most of our tomato sauce in sort of IKEA vacuum bags, or not vacuum, but just Ziploc bag type thing. And they've been a bit of a nightmare to use, to be honest, and really inefficient to store in the freezer. Well, we've just run out of freezer room. So I wanted to invest in lots of jars, do like some proper canned sauce, and we got it all at the end of last season. Jess and I were like trying to fit everything in the freezer. Just order the bloody jars, order the jars. So I did. And I thought it'd be really nice to do it, you know, the traditional thing where you get the basil picked fresh and just put a load at the bottom of the jar of sauce. Really excited. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the basil does well this year. I quite often find I can get a decent sort of small basil plant, but then after that it goes a bit sad and doesn't last that long into the season. So maybe the green stalks might be the solution for that. This one is more of me just trying to get rid of all my flower seeds. Oh, that's exciting. We've got a little bit of scabious germination. That is really nice, and it does seem to be hardy on my allotment. I really love those flowers, so hopefully we can get a lot of those established. Some royal violets, Aubriettas, not come up just yet, but there's still time on this one. It's not been sown that long. We've got lovely wallflower germination in here. No poached eggplant. I always struggle with that one. That's never come up. And We've got some Linaria not doing anything, but very nice flax germination at the back. And toad flax is just gorgeous, really lovely flowers. And then the top shelf. Look at all this. There's so much good stuff. These sunflowers are romping away now. You can see there's a lot of sunflowers on here as well. I've got 2 trays. I think probably big enough to go out pretty soon. Yeah, roots are coming out the bottom already. These things grow like stink, don't they? I think they've only been potted on maybe 2 weeks maximum. Oh, we've got some aphids on here. That's, well, to be expected really in the greenhouse. Yeah, okay, so we're on aphid watch now. This tray, this is a really big tray. Slightly haphazard propagator on here, not a good seal. This one's a little disappointing, actually. These have been sown at the back since mid-March. And then these ones, I think, I'm not sure. I should really write dates on my labels. But at the back, we've got Roma tomatoes, using mostly not germinated, but there is 1 and 2. This one's just come up. Maybe not been hot enough for those. Got some Ossimum sanctum, the basil there, the holy basil, not come up. None of my aubergines have come up, but very good. Looking very strong at the front with the Bianca di Trieste courgette, butterstick courgette, rogue tomato. What are you doing in here? You're not meant to be here. The pick and pick courgette hasn't come up yet, but the Astia courgette has. And these were just a few early sowings. I'm gonna maybe wait another week and then do another sowing of courgettes, just in case we have a major cold spell. I do wonder if one of the mistakes I make with my courgette is often maybe I hold them back a little too long because I'm too nervous about them going out, but I have really bad luck with courgettes not growing very well on my allotment. But save the best till last, the tomatoes. Now, I am over the moon with this. We have some slightly spotty germination on some of the varieties. What's this one? The Tim's Taste of Paradise. Bit of a tricky one, nothing on there. The blueberry looking really good. All of those have germinated. All of the Gargamel have germinated, which has got a tiny little loop in here, very exciting. Indigo black chocolate, that's quite old seed now, but only 1 cell hasn't germinated. These are all so strong. All of these have germinated apart from 1 cell. We've got the Black Moon, the Crimson Crush, Rose Crush, and the Bliss, all looking fantastic, good. This is better than I realised actually. I thought a lot of these hadn't germinated yet. It's looking a little light. It's a weird tray, this, you know, it looks kind of waterlogged to look at, but it actually feels a little dry and quite light, so a bit weird. And then the second tray, we might expect a little less germination because it's not on the top one in the sun, but it's looking pretty good. The Apero, the only one that hasn't done much on here, although the Black Cherry, not much either. That's interesting, they're both from the same seeds, they're from Chilton's, strange. But the pink Brandywine, the Black Beauty, Paul Robeson, and the Mar Azul, all looking really good. Oh, it's good, isn't it? This is the good stuff. Oh, look at this as well. Forgot to show you this. One of my favourite things I'm growing. The wild chamomile. I should probably prick this out as well. I might need to do I think I might start with a bit of pricking out today. Though no, I should plant out first because I think it's going to rain. But I do need to get a bit of a pile together of all the stuff that just needs pricking out and potting on into slightly bigger places. Just look behind me. How could I forget this? My chili peppers. So I've not been doing many chili pepper updates this year. And as you hopefully know, I started these very late for me this year. So I didn't start these until the end of February. And you can see we've got 2 in a pot here and they're just starting to flower. So they're looking strong, they're looking healthy, but there's quite a lot of space between the leaves. So they're getting a little leggy where I've got them at home. I've moved them from the grow light into the conservatory, so a lot more natural light, but probably a sign they might need to go back under the grow light now that it's become a lot more grey. We've got a lot less sun. But I wanted to bring these up because I've kind of run out of space at home, not given much space over to the chilies this year, so we've got 2 in here. I thought we'd repot these into 1 litre pots and leave these in the greenhouse, see how they go. Whoa, some serious root growth on this one. That root growth is quite problematic when you've got 2 plants in 1 cell. My general approach is to let the weight of the compost try and separate them. But much easier said than done when they're this established, so just going to have to try and loosen as much compost from the roots as possible. And if you don't know, most people should know by now, but you can plant chilies quite deep and they will get root growth from the stem. at least in their early stages of growth. You shouldn't really bring these out into an unheated greenhouse until it's around 10 degrees low at night. I tend to find, 8 is fine, but those kind of mild nights are really needed for chilies. Otherwise, it just really slows them down. The cooling down in night will just set them back quite a lot. I know from experience, and if I had the space at home, I'd be keeping these at home, but I don't, so we'll see how they do in the greenhouse. They will survive, I'm sure, but they're just unlikely to really thrive and excel. These are Bishop's Crown, by the way, from the Grow Local JB Chili Seed Kit this year. Next thing on the to-do list was to get planting out, and I started with these peas. You can see they're in a gutter, and I'm planting not in a straight line, which did make things a little tricky, as you will see, but I have also got the twine. I just use a heavy-duty jute twine, and I've got that wrapped around I want to call it a tripod. It's not a tripod. It's got 6 legs. It's a parasol, or a sex pod, maybe? Probably don't say that, JB. Bit of a mixed experience doing these peas. I do think this is quite a nice idea. Coiling around the twine is a little tedious. If you use really heavy duty stuff, it's the sort of thing you can use every year though. But for peas, they do need a lot of support. So I've got some pea sticks. These are just little apple prunings that I could find, but they're not very good, to be honest. I will need to do more twine to support. And the idea is I've gone around twice. So there's one on the outside and one on the inside, and you can feed the peas in the middle of those, and as they grow up they will be supported on both sides. If you just had one line, they would probably just fall away from it. So I think these will do okay. There's still a bit of space, and the main issue I had, to be honest, is that there wasn't great germination in that gutter, and I've done quite a lot of disturbance as well. The whole thing about growing in a gutter is normally you put them out in a line, so you just slide them out of the gutter. Couldn't really do that because obviously this is a circle, but they're out. We'll see how they do. Next up, let's do the sweet peas. The sweet pea frame that I made last year is still going strong. This thing is pretty, it's withstood storms and everything. If you hung off it, it would probably tip the bed that it's bolted into. But I built this last year from Steve's sweet pea frame that he had on his allotment. So this is like a mini version, little tribute to him. And last year it went pretty well. So it should be really nice and easy to get the sweet peas just in here. This is a nice raised bed that I just used some old rotting sleepers for. They're holding together pretty well. And this is all filled with homemade compost, which is just so easy to plant into. I am kind of coming round to raised bed gardening. It all depends on the soil that you've got, whether or not it makes much of a difference to you. But the peas that I just planted into as well, I should have mentioned, so easy to just plant into because it's all just homemade compost. Really, really nice. Now sweet peas and peas in general, I do find can be a little fiddly to plant out, but so much easier when you've got a bed like this. Just clear a bit of space. It's all just weeds in here. What I do find really helpful on the allotment is just always having a bucket of basically potting mix. So there's a little bit of perlite in here, but this is mostly just compost. And you can use kind of anything like for just planting out. I always know where it is. It's always got my bulb planter in there and my kneeling mats as well. And I just leave this in the shed. And when it comes time to plant out, I know I just grab this and have this in here as well. So I can always just grab that and we're ready to go. Now, sweet peas are a little fiddly because they're one of those plants doesn't like having its roots disturbed, so you do need to wait until they're well enough established that you can just pop them out easily and they'll stay together. And you can see when it holds its own shape like that, it's great. I find for this size seed tray, the bulb planter makes a bit too big of a hole, so I do like to just manually get in. And what I'll generally do, instead of making individual planting holes, is just dig a trench. If I'm going to be planting an entire line of peas or something that doesn't like having root disturbance, I just find it's easiest dig out the entire trench and then backfill it with nice broken down compost or just nice soft soil. If your soil is super rough textured and is really clumping together, then that's probably not going to work, because you do want to make sure that the seedlings and the roots have a nice kind of seal around that compost plug. You can see me there planting out a few sunflowers into the middle of the sweet peas. I thought they would just look really nice here, and they'll be nice and easy to tie into the frame as well. Something to be cautious about if you are planting out sunflowers. They are meant to be allelopathic, so they can slow down the other plants around them. I'm not too worried. I think it'll be probably fine. What's the worst that could happen? you know? And then I was kind of just in plant out mode. So I was just looking for more things to plant out. Just such an enjoyable job. The soil this year is definitely more workable. I'll probably do a specific topic video on that because I have done an awful lot this season to try and improve the texture of my soil. And Sweet Williams, this one's been kicking around in the greenhouse for a while. It's quite root bound and you can see it's just starting to flower. I find Sweet Williams, they don't really seem to mind being root bound too much and then just being treated a little mean. So out it went. And then I just completely carried away. This was not on the plan for today, but I just decided to rebuild this raised bed, or not necessarily rebuild it. This at the back of the plot is an old hotbed frame. And I thought, hey, let's just use that. It looks about right. I've been meaning to do this for a few weeks. I got it in position, tidied up some of the black plastic, made sure it wasn't going to be in contact with the soil, and it fit pretty well. I just had to kind of tickle the edges a little bit. And then I tickled the edges and thought, okay, let's just reprofile this path because it's too lumpy and annoying. And like I say, just really, carried away is definitely the right word for this. Then I got the Wolf Garden soil miller out and it just did such a nice job on this bed. The texture of the soil in here was actually so nice and crumbly after it had a little bit of work. Then tidying up the plastic a little bit. I'm not sure what's happened there, folks. It's not, completely unheard of for me to get a bit carried away, but it's very carried away. I think as soon as I stopped recording and just put my headphones on, I just went into work mode. I had some real energy today. I just wanted to get cracking. I've had really good fun with that push mower. It's been a nightmare, but I have kind of mowed a few of the main paths, and just through sheer perseverance. Like, that thing is not meant for when your grass is this tall. It's all getting clogged up every single push, but I've got loads done. And basically, I just wanted to plant a sunflower in that bed and thought, this bed needs a bit of work. And that bed completely carried away with, but oh my goodness, it looks so good. And the plan is to basically get a few flowers in there, probably, mainly the sunflowers. That's what led to it. I was looking at all these sunflowers thinking, where should I put them? I had them in that bed last year and it went really, really well. So all I got to do now is get some sunflowers in there. But I have unfortunately run out of time. So thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little slice of allotment life. I can't wait to update you next week on what I've been up to and how everything is getting on. Hopefully, I'll see you again next time. An extra special thank you to all of my Chili Pepper tier patrons: Tony, Bill, Pam, Mel, Michael, Socks, Dorcasor, Louise, Andre, and Brett. Hopefully, I'll see you again next time.